Hi there, welcome to Taking the Biz. For new viewers on this channel, we focus on revision tutorials for A-level business students just like this one on Carrolls CSR Pyramid. So corporate social responsibility is something that there was somewhat of an explosion of during the 1990s. People began to develop notions that businesses had a greater obligation than just that of making profits and started to almost demand from organizations that they act in a more socially responsible manner, taking account of not just the needs of different stakeholders, but the needs of the environment and local communities as well. And there's a real groundswell of public opinion that has evolved over the ensuing 2 or 3 decades, where we now almost place an expectation on organizations that they're not just going to run efficiently and make profits, but they're also going to make decisions that do not harm the needs or the objectives of other stakeholders as well. So lots and lots of businesses have now started creating what are known as CSR reports. So as well as financial reports that spell out how the business has performed financially over the previous 12 months, now businesses are issuing CSR reports as well, reporting back to society on how that business has operated during the previous 12 months in terms of meeting its social responsibility obligations. And it's now something that many firms are really engaging with and also using as a competitive advantage, as a means of competing against rivals and being the most socially responsible organizations in their marketplace. But back in the 1990s, the idea of acting more socially responsible was something that was gaining a lot of traction. And so an academic known as Dr. Archie Carroll decided to develop a pyramid that set out 4 different expectations that people might have of organizations that were going to behave in a corporately socially responsible manner. So if we start at the bottom of our pyramid, the first responsibility that organizations have, Carroll referred to as their economic responsibilities. So even though we might have an expectation that organizations provide greater value than just to their shareholders, it doesn't negate from the fact that shareholder returns and profits and cost minimization and behaving efficiently are things that are still vitally important. In fact, Carroll described it as the foundations of any organization. Unless organizations are economically viable, unless those profits and those shareholder returns are in place, other areas of corporate social responsibility perhaps won't be able to be delivered on. So a business's foundation is making sure that it is economically responsible, it is profitable, it's minimizing unnecessary costs, and it's rewarding its shareholders. But once that is accounted for, people may look at businesses and want them to create greater value than just financial values. So the first of those might be that firms are behaving in a legally responsible way. That means that firms are behaving in a way that doesn't just stick to the letter of the law, but also embraces the spirit that laws are created in. So firms are going beyond what might be legally the minimum that they have to do in terms of employment law, maybe consumer law, contract law when they're dealing with suppliers, even environmental law as well. So firms are acting within the spirit of the law and are making sure that in relation to their consumers and their employees, they're really acting in a way that goes beyond the minimum legal requirements that they have to fulfill according to the law. But another way that firms can be corporate socially responsible is through their ethical responsibilities as well, so that they can act in a manner that takes account of the needs of all of the different stakeholders in that organization. So they can really consider, as they're making decisions, how these decisions are going to impact on different stakeholders, listen to these views, communicate with stakeholders, take their needs into consideration, and try and behave in a way that maybe doesn't doesn't just prioritize the needs of shareholders, but actually takes a more holistic view about how the activities of their organization might impact on wider stakeholders as well. Now, particularly that might involve environmental issues and how the decisions that organizations make might be seen by environmental pressure groups, how it might affect the environment in the local or the wider community. So when firms are trying to act ethically, they're trying to do what is right, what is just, rather than merely what is profitable. A final area where Carroll said firms can try and embrace social responsibility is through their philanthropic responsibilities as well. And philanthropy really relates to giving, to charity. And so firms really could use their positions, because organizations can be quite large, can be quite influential, and they can use that to do good. So they can contribute to local communities. They perhaps have the resources to develop community programs. They have large teams of employees with whom they might be able to promote volunteering. So McDonald's, for example, might sign partnership agreements with the Football Association and fund the training of youth football coaches. Cadbury's might pay for their employees to have one day off per month, so long as they use it to perform volunteering work in the local community. Barclays might give their employees time off work to go into local schools and promote financial management and teach young people about fiscal responsibility. So all of these are philanthropic activities, things that maybe perhaps don't benefit the profits of the firm, but they're what firms should be doing as responsible citizens in society. Now, crucially, Carroll said that these 4 areas of CSR can be in tension with each other, and especially the top 3 levels, the philanthropic, the ethical, the legal, can sometimes be in tension with the business's economic responsibilities. So acting in a philanthropic, responsibly way may cost the business money and may damage, at least in the short run, the economic viability of the organisation. And so firms really need to balance and acknowledge this tension. But crucially, Carroll said, the economic responsibilities of the business have to be met, because they are the foundation that allows a business to go and meet its wider CSR responsibilities. Firms that aren't economically viable, firms that are not profitable, firms that are not rewarding shareholders won't be able to go and do philanthropic work in the local communities, maybe won't be able to meet all of their ethical obligations. So economic responsibilities are something that are the foundation of all organizations. But Carroll said firms' responsibilities don't stop with economic responsibilities. Firms have legal and ethical and philanthropic responsibilities as well, and that modern organizations need to account for these and develop strategies to make sure that they are a focal point of their organization. CSR, absolutely crucial topic for the examination. Make sure you revise it. In the meantime, good luck with your exams, good luck with your revision. Keep on taking the biz.